It was a big day here in India. All eyes were on the city of Ayodhya, on the new Ram temple. I'm sure you've all seen the pictures. It was a ceremony of color, religion and pomp. The event was led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He consecrated an idol of the Hindu god Ram. Some of you may know the history. Ayodhya is the birthplace of Lord Ram. Building a temple there has been a long-standing demand, and today it happened. The ceremony was very expansive. Some 7,000 guests gathered in the city. Among them were some big names. You had actors like Amitabh Bachchan, Rajnikant, Ranbir Kapoor, Ram Charan, Chiranjeevi, Alia Bhatt and Katrina Kaif. You also had sports stars like Sachin Tendulkar, Anil Kumble, Saina Nehwal. Top businessmen were also in attendance like Mukesh Ambani, Kumar Mangalam Birla, Sunil Bharti Mittal and Sajan Jindal. So the who's who were in Ayodhya. The ceremony began after 12 p.m. First, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived at the Sanctum Sanctorum. He unveiled the idol of Lord Ram. It's around 4.3 feet tall, weighs around 200 kilograms. It was carved from a single black stone. The next step was the consecration. It's basically a religious process. You perform rituals to imbibe the idol with powers. That is the belief. Prime Minister Modi performed these rituals. He was accompanied by other dignitaries like the Chief Minister and the Governor of Uttar Pradesh. Once that was done, the Prime Minister offered prayers. He then proceeded outside the temple. Thousands of people had been waiting patiently outside. He told them a new era has begun.
हमारे राम लला अब टेंट में नहीं रहेंगे। 22 जनवरी 2024 ये कैलेंडर पर लिखी एक तारीख नहीं, ये एक नए काल चक्र का उद्गम है। राम लला के इस मंदिर का निर्माण भारतीय समाज के शांति, धैर्य, आपसी सद्भाव और समन्वय का भी प्रतीक है। राम विवाद नहीं, राम समाधान है। राम सिर्फ हमारे नहीं है, राम तो सबके हैं। राम वर्तमान नहीं, सिर्फ वर्तमान ही नहीं, राम अनंत काल है।
That was the religious side of it. But can you imagine the logistics? Hundreds of VIPs gathered at the same location. You need the infrastructure and the security to host them. It was indeed a massive undertaking. In fact, I have some numbers for you. They put things in perspective. Around 13,000 security personnel were deployed in Ayodhya. 10,000 CCTV cameras were installed. So the whole place was sort of under lockdown. It was basically a fortress. The airport has also been busy. Over 2 days, more than 100 flights have landed here, out of which 40 were chartered planes. And remember, this is a new airport. Of course, hotels are virtually packed. Some owners are charging up to 1 lakh rupees per room. All this data brings us to the most important question then. How many visitors are in Ayodhya right now? It's hard to settle on a number, but the estimate is between 300,000 and 500,000. Again, to put that figure in perspective, Ayodhya district has 2.5 million people. So the next few days will be very busy for them. The temple is officially open for worship, so expect a flood of humanity. The authorities are expecting more than 100,000 pilgrims per day, 1 lakh per day. But that's all in the future. Let's focus on today again, specifically on the consecration. As it happened, dozens of instruments played in the background. And not just any instruments, traditional Indian instruments. Around 50 of them were sourced from different parts of the country. Outside, it was raining flowers. Indian Air Force choppers were called in. They dropped flower petals over the temple premises. Later, the Prime Minister greeted the guests. He also met the construction crew. In fact, he showered them with flower petals. Take a look at this.
एक श्रमिक जिसने जो पूरी कमाई की इस मंदिर के निर्माण के दौरान, वो समस्त कमाई, अपनी समस्त आय अगर राम मंदिर ट्रस्ट को दान कर देता है, जो मैं मानता हूं कि वो सबसे महान दान है और वो इन श्रमिकों ने करके दिखाया है श्रमदान के माध्यम से भी।
The Prime Minister's message was clear. He linked the Ram temple to India's story, the story of growth, prosperity and strength.
साथियों, आज अयोध्या में केवल श्री राम के विग्रह रूप की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा नहीं हुई है। ये श्री राम के रूप में साक्षात भारतीय संस्कृति के प्रति अटूट विश्वास की भी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा है। हमें आज से इस पवित्र समय से अगले 1000 साल के भारत की नींव रखनी है। मंदिर निर्माण से आगे बढ़कर अब हमें सभी देशवासी यहीं इस पल से समर्थ, सक्षम, भव्य, दिव्य भारत के निर्माण की सौगंध लेते हैं।
So what next for Ayodhya? Well, the construction is not complete. The target is to finish it by the end of this year. But pilgrimage will continue. Some big plans are in place. The hope is to turn Ayodhya into a global Hindu pilgrimage center, much like the Vatican or Mecca. Of course, that means a lot of money is at stake. The temple is expected to cost some 1,800 crore rupees, which is around $225 million. And where will this money come from? Donations. The temple sits on a massive parcel of land. The total area is around 70 acres. The temple spans around 2.7 acres. It has 3 floors in total, 12 gates, 44 doors, and 392 pillars. I know it sounds very impressive, but the temple complex is just half the story. The whole city has got a facelift. Like I said, you have a new airport in Ayodhya. It's been built at a cost of 1,450 crore rupees. The railway station is also being upgraded. Total cost 240 crore rupees. A massive township is also being built. The idea here is to attract new residents and home buyers. Around 1,200 acres of land has been set aside. Again, total cost some 2,200 crore rupees. So the government is pumping in a lot of money into this. And why not? Just look at today's enthusiasm. Chances are it will only increase over time. In fact, the state government has done some calculations. It is expecting a bump in tax revenue because of this temple. Guess how much? Around 25,000 crore rupees, which is around $3 billion. Jump in tax revenue, 3 billion. So it's not just about the emotions around it. This temple has immense potential. It can transform the city and nearby areas. And you don't even have to promote it. Why? Because the world already knows about it. We saw massive events and celebrations in many countries today. In the US, there was a Tesla light show. Even Times Square in New York was all decked up. The billboards had a giant picture of Lord Ram. In France and Taiwan, members of the Indian community took out rallies. They chanted slogans and organized prayers. It was truly a global event. Take a look.